My name is Kat, the Free Librarian, and welcome back to a new video. Today I will be sharing my October TBR. I tried to keep it reasonable and realistic, but you know how that goes. I want to read all the things, so it's ambitious. There's no way I'm going to read all of these, but I'm going to try. I have 4 categories. I have some books that I've already started, but that I probably won't be able to finish in September, so they'll be carried over into October. I have buddy reads, read-alongs, those sorts of things. I have books that I've currently checked out from the library, but I haven't started yet. And then I have some sequels. So, first category, books I started. I have The Grace of Kings, which is the first book in the Dandelion Dynasty by Ken Liu. I'm really enjoying this. It's very unique, very unlike everything I have read so far. I'm about 100 pages in, so there's no way I'm going to finish this before the end of the month. So this will be carried over. I don't know what to say. There's an empire, and revolutionary things are happening. And the narrative style is very unique, and I'm liking it a lot. So I'm excited to continue that one. I also have Shelter Mountain by Robin Carr, which is the second book in the Virgin River series. I'm gonna try and finish this in September, but I don't know if I'll be able to. So we'll see. There's a few days left in September as I'm filming this. So we'll see if I can finish it. I read the first book at the beginning of the year and I really enjoyed it. So I want to continue. And also the fourth book is like Christmassy themed, so I would like to be able to read that one at Christmas. So I want to read book 2 and 3 before that, so that I can just keep going in publication order, because you can read them out of order technically, but I prefer to go by publication order. The Virgin River series is a series of contemporary stories, like women's fiction-y books, that are very much structured like romances. So I think if you're a romance reader who wants to try just more general contemporary women's fiction-y stuff, or the other way around, this is a very good series because structurally it's very similar to a romance. And this book is about a preacher who runs the local pub with Jack, who was the main character in the first book. So I'm excited to see how his romance goes. I'm not very far into it, so I can't say too much just yet. That was category 1. Category 2, buddy reads, read-alongs, those things. First, I have Mistress of the Empire, which is the third book in the Empire's trilogy by Raymond Feist and Jenny Wirtz. Alan from the Library of Alexandria is hosting a read-along for this series. Technically, I'm a month behind, but Alan himself is a month behind as well, so let's pretend I'm on time. I'm not sure about this one though. I am really not enjoying the second one. No, that's not right. I'm not enjoying the book. I'm enjoying the experience of the buddy read and just be able to hate on it in the chat. Sometimes it's cathartic. but I'm not liking the book, so I don't know if I'm actually gonna read this one or if I'm just gonna DNF the series. I'm gonna decide on that once I finished book 2. Then I have one that actually hold up. Jade War by Fonda Lee. Tori over at Tori Talks is hosting a read along for the Greenbone saga. I read the first book in September and I really enjoyed it. So I will be reading the second book in October. I can't wait. I need to know what happens next. And also my copy is so floppy. I'm so happy with this one. I don't like the permanent sticker, but this kind of makes up for it. So yeah, I'm excited. I can't wait. And then the third buddy read that I have is for Everyone Knows Your Mother is a Witch. I'm reading that one with Yolene from Yolene Reads. It's a historical novel dealing with like the witch trials, I believe. I don't know a ton about it, but well, I knew at one point what it was about, but I forgot. But I knew I was interested in it. And she said that she was interested in it, so we decided to read it this month. Then third category, books I have out from the library, but I haven't started yet. First I have Dictator by Robert Harris, the third book in the Gikuro trilogy. This is a reread for me. I've already read this trilogy, but Alan hosted a read along at the beginning of the year for the series, and so then I reread Imperium and Lustrum / Conspirata, depending on if you're in the US or in pretty much everywhere else in the world, which are the first 2 books in the series. But for some reason, I never reread Dictator, and I don't know why. But in my Latin literature class, we're reading Catullus. And Catullus is a poet, and he is very known for his love poetry to this woman named Lesbia. And Lesbia is a pseudonym, we're pretty sure, for Claudia, who's a character in the books. And there's a lot of drama around her, and the drama is the reason why we're so fairly certain that it is in fact Claudia, because he refers to some of the things in his poems, and just we're discussing all the mess, and it made me want to read the final book, because that's the book where the mess with Claudia happens. And just overall, I love this series. It's great. Which is funny because I really don't like Kikuno as a historical figure, or just as a person, as an author. I'm not a fan, but I do like his books. So, or well, the books about him. So I'll be reading that. Second, I have the new one by Kira Cass. What's it called? 1,000 Heartbeats. Is that it? I'll put the cover on screen. You can read the title. I read The Selection when I was in middle school, and I was obsessed. And I also read all the spin-offs, and I really loved them. And then I read Siren by her, which I also really, really enjoyed. I didn't love it as much as The Selection, but I still really loved it. Then I DNF'd The Betrothed because it was boring. And I obviously didn't read the trade because I'm not going to read the sequel to The Betrothed if I DNF'd The Betrothed. So I want to see if I still like Kira Cass. Maybe I've just grown out of her, which is completely fine because she writes YA books. And I am not really the target audience anymore, which is kind of confronting to say. I'm turning 19 soon, which means I'm officially no longer the target audience for YA. Wow. Yay, existential crisis. um, but yeah, I want to know if she's still an author that I enjoyed. That maybe just The Betrothed was just a dud, or I just don't like her anymore, which is fine. Um, so I'll try that one. It's a standalone, which is really nice. So yeah, it's a romantasy, knowing Kira Cass. I don't know much about it, but I really like the color of the cover. It's very pretty. That's all I know about it. Anyway, next book in this category, The Thursday Murder Club by Richard Osman. I technically have started. I read like 2 pages, but the writing style, I wasn't loving it. So I put it down then. But I want to give it another go because I literally gave it 2 pages. And you know, maybe I just wasn't in the mood. So I'll give it another try. Now knowing what to expect, because that was also a thing. I expected a very different writing style, which is why I was sort of like, what is this? So now that I know what to expect, I want to give it another try and see if I now like it more. If I still am not a huge fan of it, I just think that like this series won't be for me, which is really sad because I know so many people who love it and I want to love it too. So fingers crossed. Okay, final category, sequels and ultimate stretch goals. First and foremost, I would like to read The Dragon's Promise by Elizabeth Lim. This is the sequel to Six Crimson Cranes, which I read in April and I really, really loved it. But I'm a little scared for the sequel because I've heard from most people that it is quite the step down from Six Crimson Cranes, and some people retroactively liked the first book less because of the sequel. And I don't want that to happen. Because I like liking things. So I'm a little scared, but I also want to know what happens and I want to finish the series. So I am going to try to read it this month. Also, I would like to read Cytonic by Brandon Sanderson, which is the 3rd book in the Skyward series. The 4th book comes out in November, I think. Don't quote me on that. At least somewhere this year. So I'd like to read the 3rd book. I've heard mixed things about it. But I'm still excited. I want to know what happens. And then the last book on this TBR is The Bone Shard Emperor by Andrea Stewart, the sequel to The Bone Shard Daughter. I really love The Bone Shard Daughter. I think I read it in May. And I really, really enjoyed it. So I also want to know how the story continues because it left off in a really, really interesting place. So yeah, that's the TBR. I also want to read a few comics. I was in a bookstore And there were so many comics that looked interesting. I didn't buy any of them because comics are just really expensive, and I understand why, because they're so much work goes into them and with the artwork and stuff, and I really respect them, but just they are so expensive for the amount of time it takes to read them. So just for myself right now, I can't really justify buying them. Um, but I took pictures and I'm gonna see if they have them at the library. Um, but I got excited about so many of them, so I would like to read some comics in October as well. But I usually I don't pick my comics in advance. Those are very mood dependent for me, so I usually just pick whatever my mood tells me to. So I can't really give you any titles in advance for that. But yeah, that's the list. It's a lot. I'm not going to read all of it. So let me know. Have you read any of these books? Which ones should I prioritize? Um, and then that's the end of the video. So, and other outro stuff. I hope to see you again in another video. Bye, I guess.